Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. Today, here in just a bit, I am off to check out the latest horror film, Cobweb. So what is the plot of this film? Man, this movie looks creepy as hell. Okay. So the story is about a little boy who is having these nightmares and also hearing this pounding on the wall of his house. His parents keep denying that this is happening. And as the trailer progresses, it seems like the parents are almost agitated and angry at this kid for having these nightmares and talking about the pounding on the wall. Of course, the child tells his teacher and she gets involved. Bada bing, bada boom, horror movie. This film looks insanely scary. It's got that whole barbarian vibe to it. I mean, it is the same producer that did it and Barbarian. It just has that kind of creepy vibe to it. In fact, when you watch the trailer for this film, man, just the trailer alone gives you this whole Halloween creepy vibe to it. Now, this film is currently just being released in select theaters throughout the wherever. I'm not sure where it's being released. I just know that it's not being released in a lot of theaters at this moment. I'm kind of hoping by just the trailer alone that this does get a release in major theaters throughout the country. If it's good, obviously. But it does have a very Halloween kind of feel to it. Every time I watch the trailer, I feel nice crisp air and that smell of autumn and all. And I'm like, dude, I'm seeing this movie in the wrong month, man. But it still looks awesome. These are my kind of horror movies. Heavy on the creep factor, low on the jump scare. Although the trailer does show that it has some pretty good, I guess you could call them jump scares. I do like these new, more modern style jump scares where they focus on some more surprise elements. Not so much the loud, boisterous sounds that are really well known in jump scares in history. Now it's almost like they suck the sound out of it to just bring to an extremely tense moment and just go BAM! Right in your face with something. I really like that a lot more than the whole super loud raw noise and then the monster coming out at you and all that crap. I've never really enjoyed jump scares like that. But when you do it in more of a really, really subtle fashion with an extremely heavy creep factor, boy, I'm on board. Well, okay, guys, enough of me jibber-jabbing. I need to get out the door because it's time for me to go see Cobweb. Welcome back. Just getting home, and you know what, guys? This movie was scary as hell. I mean, seriously, this movie had me at the edge of my seat from the beginning to the end of this movie. Okay, so let's get this started, shall we? We're going to do things like I do. We're going to start off with the negative in this case, and then move into the positives to end the video on the ever so important high note. Now, the only negative I have about this film, and this really doesn't have anything to do with the film itself, is the time it was released. Now, I don't feel this is a spoiler because it kind of gives it away in the trailer anyways. Now, in the intro, I said this film gave me a very Halloween-y vibe, and it should because it takes place during Halloween. And I feel this was a very missed opportunity to release the film closer to Halloween. We already have a lack of very good Halloween-themed horror movies to watch around that time of the year, and it just seems like a missed opportunity to release this movie in July. I mean, I don't understand why we release Halloween films in July, for God's God's sakes. I mean, we don't release Santa Claus movies in July. Well, I don't know. Maybe they did. I can't remember if that Santa Claus the movie got released in July or not. But seriously, though, I don't understand why Halloween themed movies get released outside of the month of October. I digress. Moving on. Okay, so that's the one negative, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the movie whatsoever. It's just a personal preference. Okay, so the first thing, the scares. This movie starts off tense, and it doesn't let up until the end of the film. You will be sitting on the edge of your seat from the beginning to the end. Even in moments, typically speaking, in horror films, when you feel like, okay, we're safe here, you might not be, man. You never know what to expect in this film. I'm going to try to keep it very vague also, because the less you know about anything about this film plot-wise, the better this movie is. Try the best you can to go into this movie completely blind. Another thing that's really awesome about this movie, not just the scares, not just the tension, is the acting. And the acting does also help very much with the tension and scares. So first off, we have the young man who played the boy in this film, Woody Norman. He does an outstanding job. I can be a little hard on child actors, and this kid does a very, very good job. He has got a really good career ahead of him if he sticks with this. Also, Anthony Starr from The Boys fame is in this also. He also really helps add another creepy level to this film. I mean, come on, Highlander, you already know that he's good at playing a creepazoid, so she shows off a little more in this film. And Liz Chaplin plays the mother, and also too, she just does a great job of playing the neurotic kind of, I guess you could call her a helicopter mom, but she's also just very, very meek, but not when it comes to her kids. It's a very interesting character, let me put it to you that way. So anyways, guys, yes, this is an extremely solid see it in theaters horror film. And if it is showing in your area and you are a fan of horror, you owe it to yourself to get out and check this movie out. It is stellar. This is probably going to be one of the top horror films of the year, at least in quality, because my God, this film just leaves you with such a scare. Even when the movie is over, everyone was just kind of sitting there just like, wow, so I have to go home now. Okay, cool, yeah. All right, guys, well, that's all I have for you. This is a solid see it. Get out there, check this film out, support. I think this is indie horror. I'm pretty sure it is. So get out there and support indie horror, because, man, they are cutting it up this year. There has been so many good horror films that have been released. It's not even funny. I think the horror genre is just killing it in 2023. Pun freaking intended. All right, guys, thank you very much for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.